Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something I think a lot of us grapple with, uh, making meaningful friendships as adults.
Right. Especially when life changes things up. You move or go through a breakup, maybe the kids leave home, and suddenly you feel, well, kind of isolated.
Exactly. And we're digging into a specific source today, a chapter that really focuses on this challenge and, importantly, how to actually navigate it.
Yeah, it's all about the shift, moving from passively hoping friendships appear to actively, intentionally building them.
And it introduces these two really interesting concepts. Let them. We'll unpack those. So our mission here is to pull out the practical strategies, the mindset shifts you need to, well, build that community, find your people, even when it feels really daunting.
Okay, let's dive in. Because that feeling of loneliness, the source really gets it. It's common, right?
Yeah.
New city, big life change.
Yeah, or even just realizing your existing circle has shifted. You land in this new phase, and the easy social stuff you maybe relied on before,
Yeah.
it's just not there.
Totally. And there's this expectation, isn't there, that it'll just sort of happen, like back in school where you're thrown together.
Right. Proximity did all the work then.
But adult life, it's different. It takes actual effort. And maybe crucially, it often takes more time than we think.
The author's really open about her own experience with this, moving somewhere new and just feeling awful lonely for a whole year.
A year. Wow. And convinced she'd made a massive mistake moving there.
And looking back, she pinpointed the mistake. She was just waiting,
Waiting for friends to knock on her door, basically.
pretty much. Instead of putting herself out there, she was, stuck at home, feeling bad, kind of closed off.
Which leads perfectly into this core piece of advice from the source. Give it a year.
Give a year, okay.
It's not just about patience. It's about understanding that building real connections, it takes consistent effort over a stretch of time. Things need time to sort of settle.
She tells this story about her daughter, Sawyer, right? Her freshman year of college.
Yeah, and Sawyer was having a really rough time. Felt like the wrong school. Her people just weren't there, calling home crying, the whole thing.
Oh, tough.
Really tough. But the key thing the source highlights is that Sawyer, despite hating it, she did commit to that year. And she tried. She really put in the work.
Like what kind of things?
Well, asking to sit with people at meals, DMing people she sort of knew online, joining clubs. She even tried out for club lacrosse and got cut, but she kept showing up.
Okay, so she was really making an effort.
Absolutely. But here's the kicker the source points out. Even with all that effort, nothing really clicked immediately. It wasn't like magic. It took the whole year. Literally, in the last few weeks of that freshman year, she finally met the people who became her core group.
Wow. So it really underscores that give it a year idea. It's not always instant payoff.
Exactly. And the author kind of laughs at herself, saying she completely forgot this future advice during her own difficult first year after moving. She fell into that trap of just feeling bad instead of, taking action.
So if waiting is the trap,
Hmm.
what's the action? What's the alternative?
The source really hammers this home. Adult friendship isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you actively create.
Okay, create. That sounds proactive.
It is. And this next bit, it's so vivid. It sounds incredibly awkward, honestly, but it was pivotal. The author is on a walk, literally sobbing to her daughters about being lonely.
Oh, wow.
And she mentions a neighbor, Mia, someone she'd met only briefly once.
Yeah.
And her daughters, they didn't miss a beat. They basically marched her up Mia's driveway and made her knock on the door.
No way. Just like that.
Just like that. The author describes feeling pure terror, like, oh my God, I'm such a loser. Has it really come to this?
I can only imagine. That takes guts.
No.
Or maybe just desperate daughters.
Haha. Probably a bit of both. And the delivery was apparently super awkward. She just sort of stammered out that she was new, lonely, and, well, just stopping by.
Oh, cringe.
And the daughters apparently chimed in with, yeah, our mom needs friends.
Oh my gosh. Kids?
Right. But here's the thing, it worked. Mia's husband was nice. Mia herself was apparently delighted they came over. They swapped numbers.
Really?
Yeah, and a week later, they were walking together. That one incredibly awkward, vulnerable moment, that was the turning point.
Wow.
And the source is clear. It wasn't just that one moment. It was that, plus 100 other awkward little moments that actually started building her community.
Right.
It all came down to being willing to go first.
Going first. Okay, that connects to the let me idea, right?
Exactly. Let Me is about developing the habit of initiating. And the source gives some really simple, actionable steps, things anyone can do.
Like what?
Like just compliment people. Tell someone you like their nail polish or their shoes or whatever. It sounds small, but it's an easy opener, makes people feel good. The source calls it almost foolproof.
Okay, I can see that. Low stakes.
Totally. Or be curious. Ask someone what book they're reading or what they ordered at the coffee shop. People generally like talking about themselves, right? The source even frames it like you get points for going first. It's like training that muscle.
Gamifying awkwardness. I like it.
Kind of. And just generally practicing warmth, smiling, saying hello to people you see regularly. The idea is if you make it a habit, life starts to feel a bit more open, more friendly in return.
That makes sense. It shifts your own energy too, probably.
Definitely. And here's a key point. Do this stuff without expecting every single interaction to lead to deep friendship. The goal is just making micro connections.
Right. Not putting pressure on every hello.
Exactly. Trust that the warmth you put out eventually connects with the right people who match that energy. It's about opening the door.
The author gives a great example of this in action, doesn't she? After her year of feeling shut down.
Yeah, the coffee shop story. She decides consciously, okay, today I'm going first.
And she talks to the barista?
Yep, Kevin. Introduces herself, asks his name, uses it, and then, this is key, immediately puts his name and a description in her phone contacts. Kevin, the tall barista with a beard.
Huh. Smart. So she remembers next time.
Right. It makes the next interaction easier, less anonymous. Then she turns to a couple she'd seen there for ages but never spoken to, Gregory and Jordan.
Okay, same strategy.
Pretty much. Introduced herself, mentioned being newish, asked their names, found out they also moved about a year ago, then asked what they do, podcast business, psychologist.
See, that's more than just small talk now. That's actually building something.
That's exactly the point the source makes. It's not just random chatter. It's actively weaving a community fabric. Knowing faces, knowing names, feeling connected to your environment.
And this relates to the idea of weak ties, right?
Precisely. Those people you see regularly, coffee shop, gym, dog park, whatever, they aren't just strangers. They're weak ties. And research shows these are incredibly important for our well-being, our sense of belonging.
So learning names, saying hi, petting the dog, it all adds up.
It really does. Using those contact notes helps refresh your memory. It builds familiarity.
And she even met a close friend this way eventually.
Yeah, David. They lived like a mile apart for a year, both feeling isolated. They only connected because one of them finally decided to go first.
That's amazing. It shows how close connection can be if we just initiate. Okay, so initiating is step one. What about speeding things up a bit? Finding people you really click with, finding your people.
Right. So beyond the initial hellos, the source suggests leaning into shared interests.
Like joining groups or classes.
Exactly. Things like CrossFit, yoga, cooking classes, painting, improv, volunteering, whatever you're genuinely interested in.
Because you're automatically in a room with people who have at least one thing in common with you.
Right. It increases the odds of finding compatible folks. Proximity plus shared interests.
Makes sense.
But then there's another crucial go first moment. If you do connect with someone in that class or group,
You have to take it outside the class.
yes, you have to be the one to say, hey, want to grab coffee sometime? Or let's go for a walk. Practice inviting people. It gets less scary the more you do it.
Okay, so initiate the activity, then initiate the one-on-one connection.
And then, as you start to meet a few people you like, think about organizing small group things yourself.
Like what?
Find a cool local event, a concert, a lecture, a volunteer opportunity, and just invite a few of the people you've met. Or start something simple and regular.
The source mentions a walking group example.
Yeah, started with one person asking another, and over 3 years it just grew organically. Lots of people showing up.
Yeah.
Or organizing specific outings, jazz nights, wreath making, drag bingo.
Drag bingo. Love it.
Right. Or volunteering together. Her husband, Chris, did something similar, joined a ski race team, then started a casual Tuesday morning ski group that just grew.
So the message is, don't wait for an invitation, create the opportunity.
Exactly. Slowly but surely you build your circle. And honestly, people are often looking for these connections too. They're waiting for someone else to go first. So be that person.
Be the organizer. Okay, now what about the other side of this, the let them part?
Right. This is equally important. If let me is about taking action, let them is about, well, letting go. Releasing control over how other people respond or behave.
Okay, how does that work in practice?
It means accepting things you can't change. Like if you reach out and someone's awkward or just not friendly back, let them be.
Don't take it personally.
Try not to. Or if you try to make plans and they're always busy or they cancel last minute, let them.
That can be hard.
It can. Or if they seem wrapped up in other priorities, a new partner, a baby, work, let them prioritize that. If they move, if they stop calling back, if the energy just feels off, let them.
So it's about flexibility, accepting that friendships ebb and flow.
Exactly. It's acknowledging that relationships aren't static. People come and go, circumstances change. Trying to cling too tightly or force something that isn't working, it doesn't help. Letting them be actually creates space for the connections that do fit, that are right for you now.
That's an interesting way to put it. It frees up energy.
It totally does. And it circles back to let me, doesn't it? Because you refocus on what you can control.
How so?
Like, let me be understanding of their situation. Let me try reaching out again later if it feels right. Let me check in without needing a specific response.
I see.
Let me keep making plans with others. Let me trust my intuition when a connection doesn't feel right anymore. And maybe most importantly, let me believe that some really great friends are still out there, people I haven't even met yet.
That's a hopeful note.
Well,
Okay, let's pull this all together then.
so the core issue we often face is expecting friendships to just magically appear like when we were kids.
Which leads to feeling lonely and disconnected when, inevitably, life changes.
Right. And the source argues that real adult friendship relies on three things: proximity, timing, and energy.
And it requires taking responsibility, being flexible, and actively putting in effort.
And the solution proposed is this let them theory, but really focusing your energy on the let me part.
Go first. Say hello. Start the awkward conversation. Build your community, one small step, one connection at a time.
Exactly. It puts the power back in your court. It empowers you, wherever you are right now, to start creating the friendships and the community that feel right for you.
It really is a call to action, isn't it? Stop waiting. Start creating.
Absolutely. This deep dive really shows that building connection, overcoming that loneliness, it's largely within our control. It's truly never too late to start.
So, a final thought for everyone listening. What's one small, maybe slightly uncomfortable let me step you could take today?
Could it be just saying hi to that person you always see at the gym? Or complimenting the person checking you out at the grocery store?
What tiny action feels doable for you right now to start weaving that community fabric that might just be waiting for you to begin?